Hi, everyone, and good morning. My name is Lynn Chomitz, and I'm with Classic Vacations for the Director of New Business Development. And this is our Learning Lounge episode. And today we're talking about something that's a little out of my wheelhouse, but I'm so happy we have Tia Graham returning us again from Arrive at Happy. She's going to talk to us about the as-if principle. So this is totally new for me, but before we get too far deep into our topic today, I do want to kind of share a little background about Tia. So Tia is an inspirationalist and founder of Arrive at Happy. She's worked with dozens of global companies such as Goldman Sachs, Hilton Hotels, and Kashi to elevate engagement and drive bottom line results. With multiple certifications in neuroscience, positive psychology, leadership coaching, and employee morale, she has supported leaders for 4 years at Arrive at Happy. Tia is also the host of the Arrive at Happy Leaders Show, available on Spotify and iTunes. And prior to running off, she led sales and marketing teams at luxury hotels in the United States and Turkey for brands such as W Hotels, Westin, and The London. She has a business degree in tourism from the University of Hawaii, which is actually where we met. And she is widely regarded by the corporate happiness community and is a speaker at the annual World Happiness Summit. Her insights have been featured in national publications like Forbes, the Los Angeles Times, Well and Good, and Yoga Journal. And as a certified Chief Happiness Officer, she can help CEOs and Chief People Officers with leadership and employee engagement to experience positive culture transformation through utilizing her evidence-based business accelerator program. So, Tia, that is a lot. So you've got all this great experience and all these, really great initiatives, which again, I think when we first started talking about Learning Lounge and coming up with different topics for our advisor audience, happiness was something that was never in a business plan. So it's so fantastic that you've been able to kind of bring some of that into Learning Lounge and talk about the psychology of, success and happiness and how they're related. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to you and we'll take questions towards the end, all right?
I love that you just said prior happiness wasn't in the business plan, and I believe wholeheartedly that happiness, leadership happiness, employee happiness should be in every business plan. So I'm going to start off and ask all of you this question. Do you believe in the saying, you can fake it until you make it? For this interactive workshop today, I'm going to ask all of you to, I know we're on computers, but I'm going to ask you to go on a digital detox. What do I mean by that? Pretend that we're here, and the Classic team, you can put down the slide and hopefully toggle so everyone can just see my face and pretend as if we were in a beautiful hotel, I don't know, in Santa Barbara or Hilton Head Island somewhere. Pretend we're all together. And I want you to put your phone away, not be looking at your email or other distractions, and really just be present, because I believe this is an amazing, powerful topic today. Do you believe you can fake it until you make it? Oh no, not the next slide. Just if you could put the slides down if possible. I have been as Lynn said, I was a director of sales and marketing for 14 years with Starwood Hotels and independent properties. I've always been a pretty positive, optimistic person. Just like you, I've had good years and bad years, good months and really, really bad months. The human experience is one of peaks and valleys and ups and downs. Around 4.5 years ago, I decided to really go on a journey and a quest to understand what makes people happy, what makes life worth living, and I stumbled upon the science of happiness, also known as positive psychology. And I was working with a business coach, creating this company on the side as I was director of sales and marketing at the London, West Hollywood, and LA. And I was studying positive psychology and studying coaching and all of these different areas. And my business coach was pushing me, stretching me. She said, Tia, you need to start doing some happiness events. You need to start doing some happiness workshops. And I remember thinking, how can I do a happiness workshop? I'm a director of sales and marketing. Yes, I've been studying. I have a lot of information now about happiness and about coaching and neuroscience and these different areas. But who am I to lead other human beings in a happiness workshop? And she pushed me. She said, you got to do it. You need to make this real. You can do this event. And I was so out of my comfort zone. I was so filled with fear, filled with imposter syndrome. And I was uncomfortable, but she kept pushing me. That's what coaches do, right? She kept pushing me. You can do it. You can do it. So I ended up creating a 2-hour happiness experience, and I had 40 or so people come, and I worked so hard. I mean, I worked for weeks on this 2-hour agenda, on this experience for these 40 people. And even before, covered in goosebumps, shortness of breath, blood pumping through my body, just thinking, oh, are they going to laugh at me? How can I do this? But they were there. And as the saying goes, the show needed to go on. Long story short, I held the workshop and I had a survey at the end. And, they asked questions and rated the experience. And many people after came up and said, oh my, that was incredible. I loved it, and after I sat in my car, after everyone had left, and I read the 40 pieces of paper. And it turns out I knew a lot more about happiness than those 40 people. They got a lot of value out of my first workshop. And I want to tell you this story because although when we are stretching ourselves to go after our goals, when we are trying new things, whether it be in your personal life or in your professional life, it's uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable, you're not really learning, you're not really stretching. And that stress is there for a reason, right? It's there to let you know, ooh, this is new, you're being challenged. And today, I'm going to teach you a lot about the as-if principle. And this is about acting as if you are your future self, your dream self, what you want out of life, and where you want to be. So this is an interactive workshop. You're not just going to hear me speak at you for 50 minutes. This is interactive. So what I would like you to do is grab a pen and a piece of paper. Grab a notebook. I'll give you a minute to do so. It's okay if it's just a blank piece of paper, if it's something in your notebook, but I want you to have something to write with because I'm going to teach you the as-if principle just like my Harvard professor, my happiness Harvard professor taught me. And I want you to walk away today with some practical, powerful, tangible tools that you can use in your career and in your life moving forward. Okay. Before we get started, I want to thank Lynn and the entire Classic team for partnering with me. Although I'm not working in hotels anymore, I work a lot with travel companies, and Classic was always one of my favorite when I was in the hotel. So honored to be here with all of you again on this different topic. So if we could pull up slide 2, please. And what I want each of you to think about and have your pen ready is I want you to think about who do you want to be? Right now, it's October of 2020. I want you to imagine that maybe it's October of 2021. Maybe it's October of 2025. Maybe it's October of 2030. I want you to zoom out and think about your life. Think about your career. Think about how you want to feel emotionally. Think about your relationships, your friends and your family. Think about where you want to be financially. Maybe you have some health goals, right? Your physical well-being. Maybe your social life. Maybe you want to add some more fun in your life. Maybe you want to add some more travel. Do you want to have, are there areas in your life where you want to develop personally? Okay. Maybe there is something that you want to do and you want to learn professionally as well. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe there's an area where you want to grow spiritually. Look at this whole circle, and everything is interconnected of your future self. Okay? And there's probably more here. This is just some to get your thoughts going. And what I would like you to do is I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to answer this question. Put pen to paper. In the future, I want to be. So write that down. In the future, I want to be. And you can think about, is it a year from now? Is it 5 years from now? Is it 10 years from now? But I want you to zoom out, and we're going to take a couple minutes, and I would like you to just jot down whatever comes out. In the future, I want to be. We'll just take a couple minutes, and I want everyone to do this exercise. Think about the different areas of your life and where you'd like to grow, where you'd like to expand. And I want you to dream really big, really big.
Got to test me up a telescope. And I'll tell you where that. This is hit the railroad. This is for the great ship and still on. And I bet.
Write down what you want to feel. Excuse me. Really, really important to write down how you want to feel. Do you want to feel free? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel excited? Do you want serenity? Do you want love? Do you want growth? Do you want balance? Do you want expansion? How do you want to feel as your future self? And you might be feeling some of it now and you want to pull it forward. You want to make sure you stay that way. Think about your weekends. Think about your weekdays. Your environment, physical environment. What do you want it to look like? I'll give you guys a minute or so. Your future self. Very, very powerful thing to hold on to. Okay. All right. So you have this piece of paper and you have just written some really powerful words for yourself. In the future, I want to be. And I want you to keep this piece of paper. I want you to keep these words ever present. Maybe if you did some scribble and you were doing notes all over, you want to transport it to another piece of paper. But my goal for you is I hope this piece of paper is somewhere prominent. Maybe you have a vision board and it goes there. Maybe it goes on your bathroom mirror. Maybe it goes on your refrigerator. If you're a coffee lover like me, maybe you put it to your coffee machine. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's a screensaver, maybe it's on your phone, maybe it's in a few places. Stay connected to your future self, because he or she, whatever you wrote down, all of it is possible. All of it can come true. All of it can happen. Okay? And when you have clarity about your future self, when you're really, really clear, when you have intention, you have a lot of passion behind it. When there's energy inside of you motivating you to move towards this future self. And also, which we're going to dive into a lot today, when there's daily, weekly action that is moving you towards your future self. 90% of New Year's resolutions do not come true because people rely on motivation only. And really, where the change happens is in your behaviors, in your actions. So if we could please go to the next slide, I believe it's, slide 3. I'm going to talk to you about the idea of the mind-body connection. How this is going to connect to the as-if principle as well. So when I would like you to put in the chat, I'm going to open up the chat so I can see it here. Okay, I want you to answer in the chat. When you are having, let's say you're having a lot of lower back pain, kind of dull, aching, it's ever present, it's uncomfortable. Let's say you're having just sort of consistent ever back pain and you just can't really shake it. Who do you go see? Which professional would you go see? Type it in the chat. You're having back pain. Which professional do you go see? First thing that comes to mind. Who are you going to call about your back pain? Any ideas? Chiropractor, okay. Who else could you go see with back pain? A chiropractor, yeah. Another person you might go see is, we got a lot of chiropractor, a lot of physical therapist, yoga, massage. Yeah, oh, I love massage. I miss massages. Oh, I miss massages. You might go see an orthopedic surgeon. Thank you. You're going to go see a doctor, some type of practitioner. What do all of these people have in common? A lot of the people have in common is that they are some sort of doctor, some sort of helper, and they help with your physical body, okay? Whether it's massage therapist, chiropractor, doctor, surgeon, etc., you're going to go and see someone. I think acupuncture is in there. You're going to go see someone that you guys are saying that sort of works with your physical body. Let's say there's someone in your life, or maybe it's you, and you've been feeling quite low for a while. Maybe you've been feeling depressed. 2020 has been one of those years. It wouldn't be shocking. You're feeling depressed, or you're feeling really, really anxious, and you've tried different things on your own. You've tried different exercises and exercise and nutrition and all of these things. You just can't shake it on your own. So after using everything that's in your toolbox, everything you know, who would you go see potentially if you're feeling really depressed and you're feeling really anxious? What's a professional person you might make an appointment with and go see? Put it in the chat. Someone that could help you with your thoughts, with your low feelings, with your worrying about the future. Who do people go see when they're depressed or when they're, consistently anxious? Therapist. Yeah. Therapist, yes. So I didn't realize this until I've over the last few years have been studying positive psychology. Someone the doctor refers you to, yeah. Lots of therapists coming in. So I didn't realize how prevalent, and I'm seeing it here as well, I didn't realize how prevalent in the Western society, in our Western culture, we have what is known as a dualistic mindset. What is that? Dualistic mindset is that when there are challenges going on with our brain, we go see a certain type of doctor, a certain type of professional. When there are challenges going on with our physical body, we go see a certain type of physical doctor. And just by those two actions, and this is the medical community, the psychological community, the therapist community, it's very, very prevalent that we see them as separate, okay? And I want you to know from this day on that the mind and body are 100% connected. There is no separation whatsoever. So for example, there's a Dr. John Sarno who's written the book called Healing Back Pain. Do you know anyone that has back pain? Buy them this book. And he's treated thousands and thousands of patients who, instead of going to take painkillers, instead of going into back surgery, instead of going to chiropractor appointments and having all of this physical work done or taking medicines to help their physical body, he's working with them on their mind through journaling, through therapy, through all of these different mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual treatments, and he's healing their back pain. Now, there's some people, of course, you get in a car accident, there's definitely some, I'm not saying you never need to go get back surgery. But the back pain industry, I think, is like $2.6 billion industry, all right? So it's a for-profit industry. And a lot of times when we're having physical pain or we're dealing with things in our mind is looking at both. And the other is reversed as well. We might be feeling really, really low because we're not sleeping 7 or 8 hours a night. We're not exercising regularly. We're not eating nutritious foods. We're not taking time to rest. We're not going outside in nature. We're not spending time with our friends and family. And we're going to be low because of what we're doing with our physical body. All right? And I want you to know that all of this connects to who you want to be. So whether, and take a time to reflect on, okay, this is where I want to be in the future. This is where I am now. Are there some changes I need to make with my physical body to be stronger and healthier? And there's some changes I need to make with my psychological, emotional, spiritual well-being to help me get forward to my future self, okay? So you can put down the slide now, and I'm going to we're going to dive into some examples of not this slide, just no slides at all if possible. So I would like all of you to just sit up in your chair, okay? Stretch your arms a little bit. Because again, we're talking about mind-body connection. Stretch this way, just get some space in our old bones, old tight muscles from being at the computer and on the phone all the time. So what I want to teach you today is that you can actually trick your mind. You can change the way you think. You can change the way you feel by changing our physical body, okay? So you can do this long term, like having some of the things I mentioned before, exercising regularly, having a diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables and healthy grains and healthy proteins. You can sleep 7 or 8 hours a night. I learned in neuroscience you can never catch up on sleep. Every day is a new start, so definitely prioritize your sleep. But meditation, there are all of these things you can do. You can create habits for. What I'm going to teach you right now is sort of these jolts when you need a jolt of positive change in your life. Okay, so in your chair, and I know I can't see you. I wish I could see all of your faces. I can't see you, but I pretend again. We're in a room together. We're at a 5-star hotel in Santa Barbara overlooking the ocean. We're all together, okay? So I want you right now, and I want you to do this with me because you're going to see the power of doing it with me. So think of the word exhausted. What does in the physical body, Every single emotion, every single feeling has a physical pair that goes with it, okay? So what does exhausted look like? All right, I want you to do it. So for me, exhausted is shoulders in, head down, probably big sighs, maybe hand holding up my head, yawning, eyes closed, like you're just drained, you're exhausted, okay? So you're feeling exhausted and your body is also doing, it's like matching. It's like, oh, my brain is feeling like this. Yeah, I should probably be in this position, okay? Talking to each other. All right. Let's say you're feeling really, really calm. Oh, let's say we are on a hammock in the Maldives. All right. We have booked through Classic Vacations to the Maldives and you're in a hammock. There's a pina colada next to you. There's a cool breeze and you are going to be lying back, right? Feet up. Maybe your hands are behind your head, right? Your shoulders are open. You're having all these wonderful thoughts. You're so present. You're listening to the sounds. You're so grateful that you get to go on vacations and you get to be on a beautiful beach. You're breathing really slow, okay? You can see what that is in your body. Calm looks different than exhausted. Now let's say you're really, really, really stressed. What's going on in your body? When I get really, really stressed, I pace. I walk really, really fast, drives my husband bonkers. I breathe really short, like kind of just in this, hushing, like rushing mode. I'm kind of loud with things. I might like be putting things down. I'm talking louder. I'm talking fast. You know how you act when you're stressed. Okay? Stressed your body moves in a certain way, breathes in a certain way, your blood is pumping. Your shoulders, when you're stressed, your shoulders get really tight. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. I do not like it when I feel stressed. And the last one is, let's just say Lynn and the Classic team, for all 135 amazing human beings who have joined us this morning, every single one of you are being gifted by Lynn and the Classic team. You are all getting a $5,000 travel voucher. You can use it on air. You can use it on car. You can use it on food and beverage. You can use it at a resort. You can get a helicopter ride, whatever you want. You have $5,000 that you can use on a trip in 2021. And guess what? It's coming in the mail tomorrow. You can start using it immediately. How are you going to feel? You are going to feel excited. You are going to feel joyful. You are probably going to be like, woo, yes! Yes, I just won $5,000. Okay? See how different those four look? And what I want you to know is that you can use your physical body to help your mind. You can use your physical body to trick your mind, okay? The Maldives can solve all my problems. Me too. So you can use your body, okay? So when you wake up in the morning, let's say you're having a really, really, you're tired, you're rough, maybe you got, a annoying client email, I don't know, whatever. It's a bad start to a day and you're probably shoulders humped, you're feeling exhausted, or maybe you're stressed because this or this is happening. I want you to know that you have this physical toolbox and your physical body is really, really powerful. So you can just say, my body's going to feel joy right now. And I want you to remember that $5,000 Classic voucher. And if you just got that in your hand right now, your arms would be up. You would be like, yes. Okay. I want you to remember that hammock in the Maldives at any point during the day, at any point during the week. Because I'm assuming in your future self, you do want to feel calm. I'm assuming that you want to be excited, that you want to feel joyful. all of these different emotions, right? You can use your physical body as if it was thinking a certain way, okay? So sometimes when I have two little girls and I love them dearly and they drive me bonkers. All the parents can relate. They're 4 and 6 and they have way too much energy. So sometimes when it's just total chaos in my house, I just go into like calm mode. I close my eyes, I put my shoulders back, and I'm just like, and I go from feeling anxious and stressed to feeling calm. I use my breath to trick my mind. Nothing's happened, nothing's changed in my outside environment in those events, but I use my physical body to make my mind feel differently, okay? So when you are stressed, when you are anxious, you can choose to go get 8 hours of sleep. And by doing that to your physical body, it's going to help your mind. You can choose to meditate. I love the app Insight Timer. There are thousands of free guided meditations. You can choose to take 2 minutes, put in your headphones, and by listening to some calming meditations, your mind is going to feel differently. You can go outside for a walk, and by walking your body with rain or cloud or sun or snow, by walking your body outside in nature, doing that motion with your physical body, it's so simple, yet we forget about it. Going outside for a 15-minute walk, it's going to change the way you feel with your mind. And maybe you are feeling really angry. Maybe you're feeling really frustrated. You can listen to some music that you really love, some calming, uplifting music, or maybe you love rock and roll. Maybe you love jazz. I don't care. Music that you love, put it on. If you just dance for 5 minutes with your physical body, you're going to trick your mind. So when you have this message of how you want to be, how you want to feel, so many times we forget that our physical body is connected to our mind. We want to change the way that we feel. We want to change the way that we operate. And we forget that the most important instrument, which is 100% connected, is our physical body. Okay? So breathe as if. Move your body as if. Act as if. Move your arms as if. And use this to move forward towards your future self. It's really, really powerful. And the neuroscience behind it, the psychology behind it, the studies behind it are mind-blowing. Teach your kids this too. So if we could please go to the last slide, slide 4 now. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about the actions on moving forward towards your future self. So what I learned from both positive psychology and neuroscience is that motivation, as I said with New Year's resolutions, is not enough, okay? We need to have actions that support where we want to go. So let's say your future self has 6 weeks vacation. Let's say your future self stops working at 2 every day. Maybe your future self speaks French. Maybe your future self has a new company. Maybe your future self has time to do yoga 7 days a week. Maybe your future self has you being a public speaker. Doesn't matter. Think about your future self. And this is from Harvard called the Progress Principle. And there's a lot of information on here. And you guys, I'm happy to give you my slides. Oh, some people are saying they don't see the slide. I can see it. Hopefully we can get everybody on here. It says the positive progress loop, okay? And what I'm going to teach you is about, so when it says work, but really this relates to all areas of your life. So let's say think about your a big personal goal you have, or a big professional goal you have, all right? The progress principle, and there's actually a book written by these Harvard professor. It's called The Progress Principle. It's a really, really wonderful book. And what it proves, what it shows through multiple studies of people in all different types of industries, is that when we as human beings have small wins, like you learned a new phrase in Spanish, or you learned how to do this new amazing thing in Excel, or you learned something about, your boss's job, or you learned whatever it is, right? You're moving towards, okay? When we start having small wins, right? The uncomfortable wins and the baby steps towards what we want to do, our brain starts thinking, oh, she or he is this person. We perceive ourselves just like we perceive other people, right? So know that those small wins, I want to make sure that you have small wins every single day. Structure your day so that every day there's a little yes, awesome. I checked that off my to-do list. I did that. I got in touch with that client, or I did this action, okay? And it's the small wins, it's in the daily baby steps that helps us move forward towards our goals, okay? And when we have a goal, maybe there's a goal, something that you want to complete 1 month from now. Maybe there's something you want to achieve a year from now. Maybe there's something that you want to have 5 years from now, okay? You can, yes, remind yourself of these big goals, but the focus needs to be on the small daily wins. And when we have small daily wins, when we make little steps forward, guess what happens? Our motivation stays high. Every time we get a small win, the dopamine in our brain is like it's like a piece of chocolate or something. We're like, oh yes, keep going. What happens where we get challenged as human beings is we have a big goal, okay, something in the future, and maybe we don't work on it for 3 weeks. And when we don't work on it for 3 weeks, then we're not motivated. The 3 weeks, after the end of 3 weeks, you're like, oh, I haven't done it for 3 weeks. Oh, I'll put it off for another week. For the areas in your life where you really want to make changes and you really want to move forward, you have to think about the daily small wins, and you need to make sure that they're happening consistently, okay? So take 2 or 3 of your big goals and look at, the month of October, the month of November, month of December. Are there actions scheduled so that you can see yourself moving forward, okay? So what I want you to do now is on your piece of paper, write down some daily actions. They could be physical actions, spiritual actions, maybe it's to do with your relationships, career actions. I want you to write down 3 or 4 actions that are going to be small wins for you, right? So maybe it is studying for half an hour a night. Maybe it's reading on Sundays for 1 hour. Maybe it's walking every lunch hour for 20 minutes. Maybe it's getting in bed by 9:30 p.m. Maybe it's calling 5 clients every morning before you even look at your inbox. There's no wrong answers here, okay? So write down some actions daily. Think about the daily. It's the baby steps that help us have motivation, okay? I also want you to think about someone you admire. Could be anyone. It could be a celebrity. It could be a public figure. It could be someone in your family. It could be someone in your company. Write down the name of someone you admire. Who's the first person that comes to mind? Okay? And when you look at this person's name, when you think about this person in your mind, what do you admire about them? Do you admire their career drive? Do you admire their generosity and their giving and how they help other people? Do you admire their strength? Do you admire their optimism? All right. As I said earlier, we make perceptions about other people. You have perceptions about this person you admire. You also have perceptions about yourself. How do you perceive yourself? What thoughts do you have about yourself? What labels do you give yourself? Okay, are there conclusions? This is a really powerful question. Are there conclusions that you draw about yourself? And are they supporting you? Or are they hindering you? Are they moving you toward these future goals? Or are they pulling you backwards or keeping you in the same spot? You are all here on this call and you are connected to Lynn and the team and Classic, and you are somehow connected with the travel industry. You are all incredible human beings. I want you to have very strong positive perceptions about yourself, and I want that to help you go forward as well. So, as I said, keep this future self description close to you. If any of you want to stay connected, I want you to know that you can. I would love to be connected with all of you on LinkedIn. There's a mini happiness class if you want to go dive in a little more, and there's some 5 short videos on different ways that you can increase your well-being. If you go to arriveathappy.com, that's there too. And I'm also going to be sharing with Lynn some different resources, some podcasts that support me move forward towards my future self, some books that have helped me move forward, some classes, some products. I don't sell anything. I just mean products that I love, that I have in my home environment and my work environment that help me move forward towards my future self. And I think you would all agree that we need forward motion, we need inspiration, we need positive energy now more than ever, more than ever. And I want you to know that when you are rising, when you are elevating, when you are moving forward, guess what? You inspire people around you to do the same. Your friends, your family, your coworkers. Share your progress on social media. Share what you're doing as you're moving forward towards your goals, because that is what the world needs right now. I have goosebumps more than ever. The world needs you more than ever right now to believe in yourself and to take those daily actions. I started off the conversation by saying, do you believe in fake it till you make it? It's a very, very popular saying. It's been around for a very, very long time. And there's a wonderful TED Talk by a woman named Amy Cuddy. I love TED Talks. That's a really good way to move yourself forward. A wonderful TED Talk by this woman named Amy Cuddy. And she says, which I love, don't fake it till you make it. Fake it until you become it. And with that, I will open up for any and all questions that you have that relates to the as if in your future self.
Perfect. Thanks, Tia. No, I really like that last line of, fake it till you become it. I think, that's actually really good, because the stuff that I put down of what I wanted to be was all like calm, relaxed, on a beach. It was just all that visualization of like, that is my calming scenario. So I think that's why, again, the Maldives was the perfect example. So thank you for that. We do have a few questions, but I'll invite others. If you do have questions, please use the Q&A box. We can ask those of Tia while she takes a quick breath. I know you will share the resources, which we do a follow-up email and we send out, and then we also put the link into the YouTube description on our playlist. So all of our events are recorded, but we'll make sure that you do get a copy of the presentation slides, as well as the resources and the books and podcasts and all those specific details. So I think there was one that you mentioned early on about a specific book and for the mind-body connection. Can you rename that book and author?
Sure, yes. So the book is called, and there are many, many books, and and I will say there's a lot of books in this genre. I read books recommended from Harvard and Yale and Stanford. really with science and studies behind it has been my journey and path. And so one that I talked about is one called Healing Back Pain. And I think it's by, just one sec, John, I'll make sure it's in the resources, but I think the author is Dr. John Sarno.
Okay.
But if you just put in Amazon book Healing Back Pain, it's going to pop up.
Okay.
And basically, yeah, what he talks about is that all lower back pain is blocked emotional pain.
Okay. Yeah, and I think in the chat also the TED Talk that you mentioned with Amy Cuddy,
Yes.
someone put a link in the chat for that. So I definitely think those resources are definitely available. Easy search with Google and Amazon, so that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions right now. So do you want to maybe give any other examples in regards to, I think kind of repeating the questions that you talked about, in the future, can you kind of repeat those so we can kind of go through that exercise again and follow up?
Sure. So yes, in terms of the first exercise, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I was in the future, I want to be, and then there was a couple more following. So maybe just repeating that and then we can, track it from there.
Yes, of course. So staying really connected and making sure that the future self is vivid. And the exercise I had you go through was writing. And what I would also encourage to take it a step further is to make it visual. So there's something about seeing your future self every single day, right? The words are really powerful, but also if you can have a vision board, right? A cork board, and it I've been doing it for years, but it actually, having the hammock in the Maldives, having, maybe you want to only fly first class, and there's a picture of a woman or a man just sitting in first class with this, whatever. All of those different things. Maybe you have pictures of all the friends and family members that you spend some time with, but you really want to spend way more time with them. And so your career needs to shift so that you have more time for friends and family. All of those up there, and put words on there as well, like calm, successful, energetic, healthy, meaning and purpose, whatever, and put those on there too. I would have that as well. And really think about every single area of our life. I think in Western society, a lot of times we connect success in life with our title, with the power we have, with the money we have in the bank account. And that's really just one part of life. We are not what we do, right? What we do is a part of who we are. And so I really stretch you and challenge you to don't have that be 80% of it, have that be 20 or 30% of it, because life is really rich, and we increase our happiness and well-being when we really think about all the different aspects as well.
No, I think that's perfect. And I do have another request for you to expand on the progress principle beyond the small wins. Can you expand and explain that in a little bit more detail?
Sure, yes. So the progress principle is really, the research is all behind people when they're working, and it shows that the number one way that leaders, and so if we have leaders on the call, the number one way that leaders, managers, people that have anyone that's on their team and teams in the organization, the number one way to motivate people, what leader doesn't want a motivated team and a motivated workforce? The number one way, and usually when managers throughout the United States are asked what motivates your salespeople, what motivates your programmers, what motivates your operations, they say, well, salary, bonus, vacation, I don't know, their office has a window, they have a nice boss, they get 4 weeks vacation because they're a VP, whatever. We give free fruit and free coffee. There's a really great holiday party. This is what managers around the United States say. Nobody says progress and meaningful work. No manager says that. Yet, what these two psychologists at Harvard have proven is that the number one way to motivate people at work is for them to feel like their work has meaning, like them to feel their work matters and has purpose, and they're making progress. And it's not like at the end of the quarter, woohoo, you did this thing. No, that's going to get them motivated for a few days at the end of the quarter. It's in the daily, like, yes, awesome. You just called that client that wasn't talking to us for the past 3 years because they love the competitors. Or you just figured out this problem, or wow, you just came up with this creative solution to save us on our, flow through, whatever business metric you're measuring. And it's the manager's responsibility, right? Now you guys know it. Now you know it for yourself, but as a leader, you need to, that's why positive feedback is so, so important, is that you need to show people, hey, you're making progress towards your goals. It matters. And I notice that you're doing that. So I hope that helps in a little more detail.
Absolutely. I think, just sometimes acknowledgement, versus like waiting to the final reward, just acknowledgement that the progress, I think, is a really fantastic way to point that out. So we have another question from Jessica. She mentioned you had said we all have good years and bad years. So any advice on how to get through the bad years?
Such a good question. 2020, can it give us any more curveballs, fireballs? What is happening 2020? There's also a lot of silver linings in this year. There's a lot of silver linings. So when you are having a bad week, bad month, bad year, the first thing I will, because I work with clients one-on-one as well as a coach, is acceptance. As human beings, one of the worst things that we do is when we are feeling sad, when we're feeling guilty, when we're feeling angry, when we're feeling pain, depressed, anxious, all of the painful emotions. They're not negative emotions. They're not bad emotions. They're painful. When we're going through a divorce, when we're going through losing our job, when we're going through whatever it is you're going through, is we need to accept that we're there. We need to actually sit with it, right? It's there for a reason. One of the biggest lessons I've learned from positive psychology is that the painful emotions are there for a reason, and they're teachers. So when I'm feeling really anxious, when I'm always like, okay, what's this anxiety trying to teach me? What am I supposed to be learning here? All right. So be open to it, be accepting of it. And also, by the way, we could just do a whole session on painful emotions. There's so much. But the second thing I would say, so acceptance, the second thing I would say is that pain needs outlets. All right. So the two proven ways to help you move from the bad year to the so-so year to the good months is when you're in it is basically communicating. So you need to talk to someone about what's going on, whether it be a pastor, whether it be a rabbi, whether it be a therapist, whether it be a coach, whether it be a friend, whether it be a family member. You need to talk to someone about what's going on. When you hold it in, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start getting lower back pain, and you don't want to go get back surgery. Okay. So you got to talk about it. The second proven way to really support you and when you're going through those bad years is journaling. There's been profound studies on journaling, the Ivy League institutions, where just journaling for 20 minutes a day for 3 days in a row can help you. And the longer and the more you journal, the better. And people ask me, well, what do I journal about? You journal about how you're thinking, how you're feeling, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your body, what's going on in your life, as if you could just dump out every single thing that you are struggling with and just let the pen to paper flow, and don't type it. It's not the same. You need to be writing, not in your phone. You need to be writing with a pen or a pencil in a book. And so keep talking and journaling going. And then also one thing I'll recommend, I have so many books, but here's one. This is a great one. This is Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, who's one of the leading positive psychologists, and she has a wonderful book, hopefully you guys can see this, called Positivity. And so there are 10 of the uplifting emotions, and this book can give you ways on, okay, you want more calm, you want more joy, you want more love, you want more. This is an example of ways to, okay, I've got this stuff going on, I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to journal, I'm going to work with it, but also I'm going to work on getting some more of the uplifting ones too. So that would be my recommendation.
Well, that's perfect and very thorough. So thank you for that. I took some good notes to be able to include in the follow-up emails. So we have time for just one last question, which I think is a really considering our audience. So Denise was asking if you can elaborate for those that are independent contractors or self-employed, so they don't necessarily have that manager relationship that you talked about. Can you maybe explain how that would relate to them?
Yes, and I am a solopreneur. I have a couple people who help me, but not full time. So I feel you, I hear you. I'm also an independent contractor for Arrive at Happy. So my this is what I do, and this is how I stay really, really motivated for my company and for my work, is I have big goals. So for example, I'm publishing my first book next summer. I'm working on creating online courses. I have these really big goals for my company, okay? Yet they're long-term goals. And so what I do is I make sure that the goals and the vision that I have for myself that I want to work on, where I want to be, is in my weekly. So each week, even though I don't have to, I'm doing some work on the publishing of my book because it's already all written, for example. I'm doing some studying on how to create amazing online courses. And it's scheduled. So I have talks like this. I'm talking to clients. I have my regular work. And interspersed in that is, and I schedule it just like you would schedule a meeting. You know, I have scheduled like study. I have scheduled and when as I'm moving myself forward, I share. So like, for example, with my husband, I don't have a boss to be like, woohoo, I just did this thing. So I share with my husband, like, I just finished this, module number 2 in my course. And he's like, great. Like, he probably doesn't care, but I'm saying it out loud because I'm like, yeah, Tia, you have to be your own cheerleader and schedule those micro actions that are moving you forward towards your future goal. And, I'm a big pen to paper person. So having lists, and I love the feeling of when I can just check something off and it's not a big thing. It's a little thing, but I know it's a forward action.
No, I think that's perfect. So thank you for that. I think, a lot of us are trying to get better at lists, and I do keep trying to move them back digitally because then I can see it on my phone. So it is something I do try to go back to and have a planner or something to organize. But it is hard to toggle of, being digital and mobile, but yet also kind of like you said, write down your thoughts. So
Yep. Thank
you for that. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have. So I think it was very inspiring and helpful for sure to kind of go back to the mindfulness concept and getting back into happiness and less focused on all the business aspects of our travel industry. So thank you for that. For those of you that are joining us, we will share the resources by the end of the week. The recording will be posted by the end of today. And if you have any further questions, let us know. All right. Thanks all.
Thanks, Classic. Thanks, Lynn. Bye.